Everybody, and in this video we'll show how to install Snort on Windows 10 machine. First of all, there's prerequisite software that needed to be installed in order before we install the Snort itself. So first of all, we will need to install WinPCAP, then NPCAP. So we'll start with the WinPCAP, and it's a free source, so you can go to download and find it. You can go to this website, which is www.winpcap.org, install and look for your Windows installation. Download it, run the installer, agree to the license as default. It will tell you to automatic start the WinCap on reboot, please. And by this we just installed the WinPCAP. So to install in PCAP, we can get it from the source with the from the nmap.org. So we go nmap.org /npcap, and it will take us to the nmap website here, to the npcap, and we'll go for the source for the downloads. And we'll find the installer for the Windows 7, 8, 8.1, 10, and 11. So I'll click on that one and wait for its installation. And to install the npcap, I will go and open the file. Because it's a sandbox, the virtual machine sometimes have a little delay. I will agree with the installer. Will accept the license. No, I will keep the default, install the npcap in pipette mode. And because some of this virtual machine can be configured as a Wi-Fi, just make sure I will also check the support for the raw 2.0 8.0.11 for the Wi-Fi traffic. Give it a second. Installation should be going now. And tells me complete, so I click next, and tells me that the software was installed successfully. Next, I will go to download Snort. To do that, I will go search for Snort. And you can see this snort.org right here. I'll go to downloads. I'll look for the Windows version, and it's easy to find it because it will be .exe. Yes, right here, and yes, that's the one. I click on it. It should be installed. It's a very fast installation, as you can see. So to install the Snort, it's very easy. You just will go here, allow the installation to happen, license agreement. I will go with the default. Make sure that you have the Snort dynamic modules and documentation, just in case if you want to get back to it. I would advise to leave the destination folder as Snort as it is, because it's easier later on in our tutorial to move the roles and the community roles and so on. So click next. It will go as complete. Okay, now you see it tells me that it requires the NCAP version 0.9984 to be installed. So this we will keep this message in mind while we are doing. Then it will tell you that you have to manually configure the snort.config file to support proper allow the snort rules. Okay, by this we installed the snort. Alright, for the next steps is to install the snort rules, and to get that, some of the rules are already available at the snort.org or website. So I will go here, but to get to that downloads here, we need to sign in. So I use my credentials that already created before. It's free signing, so I just will put my username and password, and I used my university email address as my primary email identification. Sometimes as I already mentioned, the virtual machine takes some time to respond depending on your network. So it goes to the login, but what we're interested in downloads and rules. And in the rules, you can take the most recent rules. So I go right here and take this one. Right here. And it goes to download. It will be a WinRAR tar.gz, but I can open it with WinRAR software that I already installed. So it's right here. I will just extract it to the same file name, and it will create a file name with the rules. If we open it, you will see these 4 folders: the etc rules, the snort rules, and the built-ins. Additionally, if you can see here, we only have rules in this file, but we usually like to have the rules and the pre-processed rules. And to find that, we can go back to the Snort website where we downloaded the rules, and let's go to the community rules right here, and you see that version 3 and version 2. I can go to the version 2.9, but we because this is what we installed before for Snort, and we're gonna install the community rules. And this is a file inside, so I will go to downloads back here and try to decompress this file. And whenever I open the community rules, you can see that I have snort config and the authors and the community rules listed right here. For our rule for the 2.9, instead of installing the list config in 0.3, let's go and install the 2.9. Whenever we open it again here, decompress, and now we have the proc and rule. This is how I knew that my version is not correct. So now I have these 2 files, and what I will need to do is to move that to the snort folder itself. The snort folder was by default, if you didn't change it, as we mentioned in the beginning, it will be in the C drive. On the snort, and you can see I just will move this window right here. Yeah, it will have, I just to make it smaller, I can see it have the rules and rules proc, and this is the 2 folders that I wanna take from this side to the other side. So I will just select them, go copy, and go to the C snort, and I'm gonna paste them here. It will ask me to replace, yes please, and the copying is done. Okay, now I need to configure some configuration files in the snort and be able to run it. And to go there, I will go again to the Snort tools. Oh, they are already here. I just don't want to keep this window open, so just will go to the C drive. On the C, I'll go to Snort. The configuration files are in the etc, and you can see snort.conf. If you click it, it tells you to open it with Notepad or other app. When I look here, I don't have much app that I really like, but my personal preference is the Notepad++. So I'll just exit this one. I am gonna install the Notepad++. It's a free version, so I can install it. All the version of the Notepad++, and I usually like to take the most stable and the most updated. So this is a download here. I want to get the installer. Again, my machine is slow here. So as you can see, there's no this is only 64 bits here. So I'm gonna install the exe file. Tells me my downloads. I'll go into downloads, click on it. I'll go to the steps, say yes. I will use English as a language. Next. For the license, the same thing, just agree. I will let it be in the default location under program files. It tells me to associate any other documents. I will leave the default, which is a custom default. Create a shortcut. Yeah, it's not bad to have, especially if it's just a virtual machine. Tells you to run, just make sure it will be running correctly. Yeah, we have the notepad. Now let's go back to our configuration file. So I will be closing all of these guys here. I don't need that too. Neither the notepad. I'll just minimize that one. Now for the config, I'll go and edit it using Notepad++. Why? Because it's easier to follow which line we need to configure. And the most important line that you need to change here is in line 45, right here. This what tells you what is the name of your network address that you want to be protected, which is your local address. So in this rule, as you can see, it allows the IP var to be external net with any, but I would usually like to change it to my local network here. To get in the local network, you can go from the CMD and let's type ipconfig. And as you can see here, it tells you where is the gateway, your address, the gateway, and we have the class C network. So your network name will be usually the gateway, which is still 2, and you have to mask the rest, so it will be 123.24. So I will go here and change it to the 192.168. Let me see what it was, 2.1. Slash 24, and actually I can put 0 here, so it doesn't matter. So this will be my home network, the variable definition. The next step is easy. We need to define who will be the external net, which basically anything other than this network. So Snort have a very interesting syntax. So instead of any, I will say it's not this guy, which is not home.net. And to use that, use the exclamation mark. I'm sorry. Right here. And $sign. And I use the name of our variable here. I just paste it here. Now, after we define the home network and the external network, let's go and define what the rules will be, right? So you just scroll down a little bit, and approximately around 1, 2, pass to the rules. See this comment here? So we will need to edit these lines. So if you remember that we went to the default location, this is why I asked you to do the default. So we'll change the rule path to the path that we have. I just will copy and paste it here and put the absolute path / rules. I usually capitalize the snort here. For the SO rules, we don't need that. For the pro also, oh no, wait, I will need the pre-processed rules, and I also will put the path of the Windows side, so it will be /snort right here, and put it in the Windows format. Just one moment, my machine is a bit slow. Yeah, right here. So now it has the same folder structure in a Windows shape, and it commented out the Linux configurations file. Next, there's two other lists that are important in Snort. They call it by code color, white list and black list path. Again, as you can see, we just need to put the same absolute path as we mentioned here. So just copy it and change it to the absolute path, and this one too. This way I make sure all of them consistency, column / snort, all of them like that. The next configuration will be for the login directory, and to go that we need to scroll down a little bit. We'll pass step 2 for the configuration of the decoder, and go a little bit right before the beginning of step 3, which is configure the base detection engine. And you can see this config.logdir. This is what we're gonna change, and I usually like to divert that to the log folder, so I will do the same thing. I will paste this absolute name, and then I will use the log folder, the log location here to be the log directory. And I will, don't forget to go and uncomment this line like this. So after finishing this step, let's go now and configure the steps for the rest of the configuration file. In step 3, really there's not much to do, just the configuration of the base engine. We will skip this line. Still we reach to step 4, which is the configuration of dynamic loaded libraries. If you can see, all the parameters here are listed to some Linux-like directory. However, if we look at this, we don't have user/local. So to get that done, we will need to change the file directory here. And to get the value of the directory, let's open our Snort and see where are these passes goes to. So in our Snort here, you can see we don't have even user because we don't have the root directory. So instead, go to lib. Inside the lib, you can find the Snort dynamic engine and the dynamic preprocessor, and this is the line that we have here. So the path for the dynamic preprocessor will be this guy, and you can see all the DLLs. To get the line, I will go here and copy and paste, and we'll change the directory right here with the value that I get. I will just minimize the C letter here, just to be consistent. For the path for the preprocessed engine, for the base one, go up, and this is the base here. Again, I will take the directory link or the path and put it right here. Dynamic detection directory, we can comment that out for now. Just take a moment because my virtual machine is slow again. Yes, like that. Yeah, and before you forget here we don't need only the library itself. We need to go to the file, so I have to add the file manually, which is the file of SF engine. So to get the same name, I just to not get any human error in typing, I'll copy and paste it and put it right here, just like that. Okay, so we're done now with step 4. Step 5 for the configuration. Let's see what we have here. Just the preprocessors, the preprocessor stamp and UTP. Okay, the maximum header, we'll leave it as it is here. If we go for the RPC, that's okay, that's not very important for now. If we have to back oh yes, we need to hash out this, so just go here and comment it out. Alright, like that. Okay, let's see what else we have here. The FTP configuration, we will not mess up with the FTP so far. SMTP for the mail, let's see what they have. That's just default SMTP ports, and then we have the port scan. For the port scan detection, we need the port scan, so we need to activate that. So we go delete and make it active like this, and from here we can go to the next steps. So it talks about the ARP spoof detection, SSH, SMB, DNS, SSL, SIP. I will leave this configuration as it is. The IMAP for the mail and POP protocol, DNP. And yes, before the beginning of step 6, you see these two folders here for the blacklist and whitelist. We need to make sure that we have this list available. So to make sure of that, let's go and open Snort again. Right here, so it tells me blacklist that we already stopped. It was the rules. And let's see if we have blacklist. So we have blacklist rules right here, but you see it have the underscore, so I need to remove this underscore to match the file names. Let's see if we have the white. I guess we don't have the white one, so to create it, yes, let me make sure that we don't have any white here. By white web, oh yeah, didn't have the white list. To create it is very easy. I will just copy and paste that. So I will copy, paste the file, I will rename it, and I call it whitelist. Rules. Okay, and in the content here inside, let me open it also with the notepad++. Yeah, I just will change it so I know where I am at, and put whitelist rules. Save. Good. Back to our configuration. Also, the whitelist that we created doesn't have an underscore, so I just remove it. So it's whitelist and blacklist, just like that. Awesome. Oh, one moment here. We still have the backslash and slash thing, so we need to change that too. Just like that. Now for the Windows system it will be easier to navigate. The next step, we'll go to step 6. Doesn't have any much configuration, but now we see this step 7. We'll need to change all of this to slash and backslash. And step 8, 9, we don't need 9 much, but we can change 7 and 8. So to replace this, I will start with first line here in step 7. I just stand on it here. I use edit and search and replace. I will replace this, this by this. I just move my dialog a little bit so I can see how it will go. You can see it will be changing one by one like that. Isn't it beautiful? Just make sure I'm still in 7 and 8 steps only. Yeah, this is the last two in the step 7 and step 8, 1, 2, 3. By this we completed these 2 steps. Don't go further like that. Here we should stop and just close this dialog. And whenever we reach step 9 here, you can see all these dynamic includes. They are for the SO library. And we don't need actually to move them, but because we changed here the rules and make sure it's actually working, so we need to remove the comment in front like this. This way these rules are up and running now. In step 9 we really don't want to change much here, because in any way we don't use the SO rules at all. So from this point, make sure that after we did all this configuration to save the config files that we have, and this file is saved and logged now. So you can close all of this and go back to the Snort. Okay, and now let's try to actually run our Snort. All of this we just do doing the configuration. So just will clean the screen here so we know where we at. Just will close this extra windows, and I will open a command prompt. I will redirect to the C directory snort/bin. If I ls it, sorry, it's Windows. If I dir, it will tell me all the DLLs that include in that, but what I'm interested in is the snort.exe. So let's try and see which version we have, just to make sure it's running. So to start that, we'll run snort.exe, and I use the keyword of /v and hit enter. Okay, it tells me that the Snort is installed, and this is the version of the Snort. As you can see, the version number is the 2919. So for the first homework, or the first assignment in this video, I want you to reach to this step and take a snapshot of this command prompt that tells you that you have Snort, and this is the version number associated with that. Next, let's see what interfaces we have in this machine and how Snort realizes them. To do that, I will run the same Snort here. I actually don't need the exe anymore. So, and this time I will use the keyword -w like this. Okay, if you can see, this is all the network interfaces associated with our virtual machine. I will just make it wider so we can see more information per line as much as possible, so because we're limited with the resolution here. Okay, so you see we have 4 interfaces. Those are disabled and the MAC address is 0, but this one is active, so we have the interface 4. This is the active interface, and it's a gigabyte internet connection, as you can see. And this will be the second screenshot that I would love to see in our assignment here. Run the snort-w, get the output the snort is running, and the interface listed with at least one active interface like this.